he shouldn't be able to come out of college to the league after 1 year.
Okay, see, I didn't hear that part. Okay, well, see, that's a trap right there, man.
It's what baseball does. It's what NCAA baseball does. Like you can get drafted to the pros and play minor league baseball, or you can choose even after you get drafted to go to college. But if you go to college, you can't leave until after 3 years in college. So that's the model that he's kind of that he's alluding to.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, that might not be, to a certain degree, it could create situations that's not favorable. I mean, if a kid is about to flunk out or whatnot, he wouldn't even be he wouldn't be draft eligible, right?
What do you mean, flunk out of?
Based on that, if he was about to flunk out of school.
Well,
he would.
Here's the other. Like, you mentioned like a kid flunking out. The other part to it, the other, I guess, incentive to it, when he's talking about taking these little online classes because a kid knows that he's only going to be in school for a maximum 2 semesters. They don't really care. But what he's saying is if a kid knows that he has to be there 2 or 3 years, it'll incentivize the kid to pay more attention to his academics.
Yeah, that's bad. That's what I'm saying. That I don't know. Because I don't think a lot of these guys, okay, well, if you know you're ready to come out and you know you're good enough to go from high school to the NBA, that's one thing. But then, Mike, people that just didn't want to go to college, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I think you kind of scare, I think you might scare some of the more at-risk kind of student athletes. I think you might scare them a little bit with that, and possibly make them choose a situation that's not favorable for them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I don't have a problem with the way it is now, except for the one and done, you ought to just let them come out of high school. No, I don't think it should be another model created. Like, why create another model? I mean, when all you got to do is just step back and say, okay, we're letting high school kids, back into the league, and then you just let that be. If you go to college for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. I mean, but I don't think you should basically have to be locked into a damn 3-year deal with college. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should have to do that.
Right. That's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous because
it's a contract. Because you're locking yourself into a situation where your draft stock will be high as hell, like a year, 2 years into college, but you can't do anything about it.
Right, and that's my problem with college football. You know what I mean? I talked about it last year. It's like the league will take care of that. It'll take care of some idiot who feels like he had a good freshman, some 165-pound wide receiver who felt like he had a good freshman year at South Carolina trying to get into the draft. He'll realize very, very soon that there is no place for a 18-year-old, 165-pound kid in the NFL. He'll realize that very, very soon. And the NBA is a different story, though. Like if, let's say, Anthony Davis, perfect example. Everyone talks about this 6-inch growth spurt he had between the time he got out of, what was it, his junior year in high school and his senior year in college? I mean, senior in high school. He definitely wasn't ready to play at an NBA level coming out of high school. But damn if he wasn't after the first year of school. Like after that first season at Kentucky, you damn right he was. So then why should this kid not have to stay 2 more years because his body did something different at a different time than, let's say, I don't know, LeBron James. Like LeBron James's body he was a child in a grown man's body at 18.
Right.
He wasn't going to tell him anything. Came into the league as an adult. But other people mature differently. So yeah, to tell a kid in one sense, we're not gonna limit your income earning possibilities because of your age, because that's not what we do here in America. But then on the back end say, well, then if you make this choice, we will in fact do that. Come on, that's crazy. Like you should be able to do whatever you want to do financially for yourself at any point during your life. Like, and if it makes some overzealous grown man who like to holler at kids on the sideline mad, so be it. Do your job. Go get another one. Ain't that what Jay-Z said? If you made me, make another one. Yeah, go get you another one. That's what Cal does. He gonna get him another one. Like now, this whole thing at Kentucky is like watching that team play. Just to kind of take it back to the game for a second, it's mind-boggling. Someone tweeted this the other day, and it couldn't have been a more appropriate tweet. He's just like, I forget who it was, and I wish I could give him credit for it. Just saying how unfair it is that you beat a 6'7" dude off the dribble, only to run into 2 7-feet dudes at the rim. Like, how is that possible in college basketball? But you know what? Good. It's the way the system is. And when Cal says, like, people don't want to believe this, but when Cal says, hell yeah, I like to have these dudes for 3 years, you think he wouldn't? You think he want to have Michael Gilchrist and Anthony Davis for 3 years? Come on, who wouldn't?
Right.
But that's not the system.
Right.
The system says if these dudes are good enough, they're going to leave. So Cal has to say, all right, I need to get in my Range Rover and go to the ghetto again and find another one. I use that example, not to be racist. Oh, we're gonna play "Is It Racist" too before this segment is up. I use that example not to be racist.
Oh, that was at Dragonfly Jones that said that.
Thank you. I use that example because that's the example that Derrick Rose gave as to why he chose to go to Memphis and play for Cal, because he's the one who pulled up in his neighborhood in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, in his range to go talk to his mama. Like, that's the kind of stuff that, like, you don't hear about that. You feel like, you know, like Cal will be the dude to come meet me here. He's going to the projects in his good car to go meet with a dude that's going to change the game when he gets to college. All right, I'm good. And when he sits down with Derrick Rose's mama, he says, I'm going to change your life, ma'am. Yeah, her life has been changed. This dude got $200 million contract with Adidas. He got Powerade commercials. He got a max deal with the Bulls. Yeah, I think Cal has done as good a job as he can do with any player with Derrick Rose. So if Derrick Rose
getting paid and they ain't even playing. That's why they ain't even really played no basketball the last 3 years.
That's the American way. Yeah, getting paid when you ain't doing nothing. That's guys like Dr. Dre. Like, Dr. Dre ain't got to make another beat for the rest of his life. And he's good. It's called residuals. Good for those dudes. But yeah, this.
So you know what? Really quick, you just mentioned Dr. Dre. I always like to try to post my stuff, in between. But look, you mentioned something. Dr. Dre never having to work again in life, right? Dude, do you realize how well the dudes like you just mentioned Dre, but like dudes like Snoop and Ice Cube, all these guys that were quote unquote like I guess gangster rappers at one point.
Of course, because people grow up.
Like all of these dudes, man, have just cross lines and were crossed over on different levels, different platforms. And it's like I said, it's just unbelievable to me when I sit back and just look at these dudes.
Nah, people get older and people love money and they love to keep the money that they have and make more. Yeah, it's the American way. Good for those guys. I talked about this happened the other day and it just warmed my heart. During the Wichita State Kansas game, Lynn Elmore was doing color for the game, and like at a point in the game, Tequila Cotton was just going off. He was, he was having a nice game. The young man was, and going to break, my man Lynn Elmore. Oh, is it racist? Remember, the kid's name is Tequila Cotton. He goes to break saying, "Cotton picking Kansas apart." Like, well done, sir. I was like, dude, I tweeted it immediately. Like 2 seconds later, I was hitting send on the tweet, dude.
Oh my God.
And for those of you, like, most of y'all don't know why well, first of all, it tickled me because it was so, I don't know. That's the segment. Is it racist? Because I don't know. It made me feel good, but whatever. A similar situation happened on the show I was producing when I was at CBS. The host of the show said, he was talking about somebody who must be out of their cotton picking mind. And someone who worked for the mayor happened to hear him say that and made a big stink of it. Like, how dare he say that? That's racist. And I'm like, really? I mean, cotton picking is, well, whatever. If that offends you, sure, go for it. But I just thought that was so awesome. Like, we talked about how big this NCAA tournament audience is. It's like record numbers they're doing. I could just imagine. I could just see like every white person looking at the TV very uncomfortably, like, should I laugh or how should I react to that? And meanwhile, I'm dying and tweeting at the same time. Like he just said,
yeah, that's unbelievable right there.
Picking them apart.
But of course, that's the stuff I live for. I live for that kind of stuff.
Oh, is it racist? I can't wait. Oh, you guys, I can't wait until we get the capability to do like segments with like lead-ins because I have. Trust me, I've stolen Tosh Point's Is It Racist sounder, so I have that locked and loaded for the first time. That comes into play. I love that game. Is It Racist? It's the best game ever because people get uncomfortable and they want, oh, why are you talking about race? It makes me uncomfortable. It makes my skin crawl. Good, it should until you get over it. Crazy. Speaking of other stuff that, like I say, other stuff that happened outside of the games. I mean, we can quickly go over the weekend real quick if you like. Kentucky beat Cincinnati. West Virginia beat Maryland. Oh, good. I'm glad I saw it. Yeah, that Maryland thing. Now, taking you guys back to last week, when we were talking all this stuff about these concussions and all this kind of stuff, we mentioned the secondary concussion syndrome, and you got a good chance to see it. This kid, Melo Trimble, that kid caught 2 concussions in a matter of 10 minutes.
He got hit with the beat,
10 minutes. And who was it? Doug Gottlieb? They were like, "Oh, look at him! He's over there smiling with the coach. Everything must be okay." What are you talking about? It's his brain. You can't tell. You can't tell what's going on. Yeah, they didn't give him any concussion test. What you mean? Why not? The dude was on the ground holding his head, and not 10 minutes later, got kicked in the back of his head and bounced his head up off the ground like a basketball by his own teammate. Come on, man. This stuff is real. Like, these are, like, the first one ain't the big deal. But you got to make sure the kid's all right. You got to put him through the protocol. Not, it's the NC. See, this is the exploitation that I'm talking about. Because the game becomes bigger than the kid. And finally, because everyone saw this kid get kicked squarely in the back of the head again, now it's like, okay, now time for the passion of March Madness. We're going to show him on the sideline with his mama crying because he can't get back in the game. Or, maybe because he's concussed like a mug for the second time in 10 minutes. Maybe that's why he's crying. I don't know. Come on, man. Yeah. You got to miss me with the whole, the pageantry and the emotion. No, that kid is concussed for the second time in 10 minutes.
Hey, they will package something up like that, won't they? Like Kevin Ware, when he broke his leg, they had packaged that all up.
Yeah, Cass was over there vomiting. Yeah, Cass was over there losing their lunch behind that Kevin Ware situation. Like, what? His bone is sticking out?
But they still made a little package, and they was going to commercial break and coming back. And,
It smells like almonds. Notre Dame beat Butler, the team Rob was just talking about a little while ago. My boy, Fred VanVleet. Yeah. And his white homies was hitting threes and tearing up Kansas. No. This West Virginia game, that's the one I wanted to talk about, too. Yeah. Bob Huggins is his daughters. Did you hear about that situation with his daughters? Huh. Yeah, I had to do some reading when it came to that. So, apparently this kid that plays for Kansas, Desmond, spell Desmond, Rob. Watch this.
Desmond.
That would be right, except he's a Negro.
Or
yeah, you're not gonna get this one, dude. No. No, he's more of a Negro than that. His name is spelled Desmine. Desmond.
Hold on. Desmine?
Yes. It's spelled like Desmine, but it's Desmond. Yes. I love black mothers. I love them. They're so creative. Yeah, that's gonna be another name. Look, that's gonna be another segment when we get our sound stuff going. Yeah, we're gonna call it something, and Rob's gonna have to guess how to spell these dudes' names. 90% of the time, he's gonna be wrong because no one would ever guess that. But anyway, apparently, this kid went to Xavier 2 years ago, and got accused of a sexual assault, and they took it to the grand jury. and the grand jury didn't bring the charges.